cached version of this page to be thrown away and refreshed immediately. Now that's been something that's been difficult to do in the past and is now easily supported with ASP.NET 2.0. And the technique I'm going to show you now works both on SQL Server 2000 and 2005. To do that, we first need to enable the database to support this table dependency caching. So in the .NET Framework 2.0, there's a command line tool, ASP.NET Reg SQL, that I've already got the command line here, where we're going to enable the table caching for the customers table in the Simple Northwinds database. So I execute that. Now you can see it did some stuff on the back end. Let me show you what it did. If I go into the Northwinds table, if I hit refresh, there's the customers table. But now I have an extra table, the SQL cache tables, and I also on this customer table I have a trigger that whenever there's a change to this table, it writes a row into this ASP.NET special table. And that's going to be polled by ASP.NET to see if there are any changes to the system. It sounds complicated, but it actually is very simple in action. Let me show you. So here's the data that we have. We want this page to change whenever we change a row over here. So to enable this caching, I have to do two things. We've set it up for the database. Now I need to set it up for my website. I have to make an entry in the web config. I have to go to the caching and enable SQL cache dependency and enable it first to true and set the polling time equal to 2000 milliseconds. And then I want to do that on the database specified. Let's see, I want to add for the connection string NW, which is the connection string up here, and I need to give it a distinct name as well. Okay, that's good for the web config. Now if we go back to our default page, we need to enable that caching here on this page. And that's simply by adding one line, or one little line here in the output cache called SQL dependency. And that's equal to NW colon and the name of the table. NW for Northwinds. NW customers. Now if we go back here and hit refresh, we see we have the table at 41 seconds and it's going to stay here in the cache. If we go back to our tracing, if we scroll down to the bottom, we see that it's hitting the database every couple of seconds. So let me clear that for you. See, there's a cache polling query, another one, but it works pretty well. Watch, if we go change a line of code, let me hit refresh. I have to hit that window of 20 seconds. So if we change this to a different company like Frostwolf and go here and hit refresh, it shows up right away. So that works really well. In fact, if we go back and look at the caching, you can see there was some notification back and forth that the table's changed, but it worked right away. So if we change this to my name, switch back and hit refresh, we get the change right away. Now this is great because it works with SQL Server 2000 and 2005, but 2005 introduces this new concept called the broker service, and this is a means to allow ASP.NET to serve as a client to where it can be notified if there's a change, and it will set up a dialog between ASP.NET 2.0 and SQL Server 2005. To enable that, it's very easy. It's the reason why we're showing you here with SQL Server 2005. Again, keep in mind that this version we're showing now is going to be polling every couple of seconds. So when I hit refresh, it kicks off the query, it starts the poll. If I go back to the site and simply change this to command notification and go back here and hit refresh. Oh yeah, I forgot, I need to add one line of code. If you want any code executed when your system is running, you need to create something called the global application class. When the application starts up, we need to enable the system to support this kind of new caching. One line of code. It's under system data SQL client dot SQL dependency dot start and the name of the connection string. And the connection string comes from our configuration manager. Connection strings NW connection string. Okay. Now we can hit refresh and that should work. Now it looks the same here, but the traffic going back and forth is going to be much simpler. In fact, there's nothing. There's no polling going on at this point. So once we hit our 20-second window, you see the refresh, and again, it's a very quiet communication. If we do go and change the data, and hit refresh, it shows up right away. So we get the benefit of this page invalidation at a table level, but it with a lot less traffic going back and forth between the systems, so we don't have the polling going on. So you've seen with this video the output caching for the whole page that's been around for a while, and two techniques to enable table level caching: the polling mechanism that's working with SQL Server 2000 and 2005, and the new feature for 2005 only, which uses the broker service called the command notification. Try using this technique today to enable better performance for your next web application.